Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek Podcast.
It's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Hey, it's Leif Gaffert. I played Uncle Ben's killer in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldovar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek Podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek Podcast.
You're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast, bringing you interviews from your favorite films and TV shows every week, and all of the latest news. Here's your host, Rory Williamson.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek Podcast. I'm your host Rory, and joining me today is a very special guest. We have actor Victor Botha, best known for playing a Death Trooper in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, and yourself?
Very good, thanks. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So, getting right into the questions, Victor, first of all, can you tell us, for the sake of some of our listeners who may not be familiar with your background, how you got into acting?
Well, I've been living in the UK now since I was 18 years old. I joined the British Army. Been in the British Army for about 12 years. And I left in 2015. And when I left, I joined an agency because that specializes in military actors. They wanted people with military experience to act in movies. And that's how I basically got in. I was really lucky that the first movie was Rogue One.
Yeah, not many better movies you can get than a Star Wars movie right away.
Yeah, was very lucky.
Yeah, definitely. And, of course, that you mentioned that's how you were originally cast as a Death Trooper in Rogue One. Can you tell us a little bit about wearing the Death Trooper costume for the first time? Was it comfortable, uncomfortable?
Well, it was really, because when we went for the first casting, we weren't told that it was actually Star Wars. It had a code name called Los Alamos. We were all called to be at Pinewood for a certain day, and when we got there, it was about 20 people there, 25 people there for the casting. And basically, like I said, we didn't know what was going on, what it was for. And they got us into this room, and I don't know much about Star Wars, but as soon as I walked into the room, I could see there's some stuff going on. Yeah, there's costumes everywhere, and everyone was talking, it's Star Wars, it's Star Wars, it's Star Wars. And everyone got really excited, and they told us we'll be casting for the role of a Death Trooper, which no one knew what it was really, because it was a new character as well. And they asked the first person to go up. I volunteered to go first, as usual. In the army, I'm used to volunteering first. And we got this costume to put on. They had it there on the hangers and rail and everything, and it was just plastic costume. To get into it was very difficult. I think it took, the first time they put it on, it was probably about a good 50 minutes to get into this thing, because it was just plastic on your legs, ankles, all different levels of plastic everywhere. It was really thick plastic as well, really uncomfortable. And I got the helmet out, saw the helmet for the first time, very excited about it. And then the director made us, well, we had to hide everything because no one could see. We couldn't go outside, but there was a big marquee set up. And we got everything on eventually, and he made us run around in it because they wanted to see our actions in it, because loads of people were actually a bit not comfortable in it and not walking normally, like Stickman normally or something like that. So we had to run up and down this building, go into the prone position, laying down flat on our stomachs and stuff like that. So all the movements they wanted to see. And then luckily I was, I think it was the day after when they called me back and said, oh, you got picked as one of the 6 guys to be a Death Trooper. So I must have done all right then in the casting.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe it was 6 people that were cast, including yourself, as one of them to be the prominent Death Trooper actors, and it was an addition of about 20 people, I believe.
Yeah, it was about 20 people there. Yeah, there was loads of military guys there because there's a lot of military agencies there for military people. So because we know how to handle the rifles and do action scenes and fighting and stuff like that. So yeah, 20 people. So I was lucky, really lucky to get picked as one of the 6. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And unlike some people that worked on the film, it might not have been as big a deal for you because you still haven't seen a Star Wars film, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't. No, I've watched this one for sure. I had to watch it straight as the first night it came out. I had to go and watch it. So yeah, I haven't watched loads of Star Wars yet. My son he saw all of them, so he knows most of the Star Wars movies. So I'll have to watch it with him.
Yeah, definitely, but he must have been really excited when you were cast in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. He was telling all his friends at school, and no one wanted to believe him. So I had to get the pictures out to prove it to him, and he had to go and show it on his phone to his friends. So yeah, they just couldn't believe I was a Death Trooper.
Yeah, that's really cool. The most popular dad in that school, basically.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Now you mentioned that the Death Trooper costume was made of very thick material, and that really struck a chord with me because even seeing it in the film, it looks very heavy. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Just the overall bulk of the costume.
Yeah, it was quite heavy. It just doing like the fighting scenes, I don't know, the beach assault right at the end of the movie. It took about 2 weeks to do that, and we had to run through the water. There's loads of scenes that was cut out, but we had to run through the water, jump off platforms and stuff like that. And this thing was really heavy. Luckily, I was used to that in the army, carrying all that weight and all that. So I was used to it, but it was still difficult. The weight was heavy, your boots got filled up with water, you were wet all over, but we cracked on and we did it.
And I complain if I get a little sand in my shoes.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if you've seen the pictures online about, there was planes flying over all the time, trying to get sneak peek pictures of everything, and there was stormtroopers laying down in the water, floating in the water. And some of them were actually real people there, just laying there with a straw out their mouth, laying in the water all day, just acting dead. I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah, it's just asking for pictures to be taken.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, as one of the prominent Death Trooper actors in Rogue One, you got to travel to and shoot scenes in a number of different locations. Which were your favourite locations that you got to shoot in?
Basically, well, there was we had 3 locations really. It was Pinewood in the studios, and then we had the old ex-RAF Royal Air Force Base in Hertfordshire that they made up as the whole beach. I don't know what the area was in the movie, the planet they called it, but can't remember. Scarif, that's the one. Yeah, so they made the whole beach and everything there, and it got the sand from the Maldives and the trees and everything from the Maldives, and made this whole thing. It was amazing. So that was good. But then most exciting for me was in Iceland, because I'd never been to Iceland, and once again I was lucky to get picked to go to Iceland as well. There was only 2 of us got picked for that, and then the rest were professional stuntmen. And we got picked to go there. We were there for about, I think, 10 days. But for me, that was the most exciting place because it's so different from anywhere I've ever been. I've been to Afghanistan and Iraq and all that, but Iceland is just a totally different place. I don't know if you've seen, well, obviously you've seen it, but the first part of the movie when we walked through with director Krennic from his ship up to, I think it's Mads Mikkelsen, where his house is up on a hill. It's all black sand, and that's all natural. That's how it actually looks like there. And it's just crazy to see that in real life, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really ominous scene right at the start of the film with Krennic and the Death Troopers just walking there. Though I remember when the film came out, a lot of people were saying online, why did the ship land that far away from the house? Let's be honest, you and the others just really wanted the exercise to walk
And that's
all the way
it.
up.
Well, in the movie it looks like 20 seconds, but believe me, it took about 3 hours, 4 hours to shoot that scene. And it was raining, it was wet, it was miserable, the wind was blowing sideways, it was just miserable. But once again, it was exciting being there. That's it, that made up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what was the experience like for you working with the cast and crew of Rogue One?
We didn't. I saw loads of them. Like Mads Mikkelsen, we were around him a lot, and Ben Mendelsohn, we were with him obviously quite a lot. And he was a really friendly guy. We spoke to him all the time, and he was say hello to us in the morning. Not speak to us like on a personal base, but all friendly. Morning, goodbye, hello, how's it going, all that kind of stuff. Really friendly people.
Yeah, it's really great. What were the biggest challenges you faced while working on the film?
Basically, I think in the studio was a good challenge, because the first scene we did was going into the, once again I'm gonna say spaceship, but inside the spaceship we had to walk in and escort director Krennic Ben Mendelsohn into the spaceship, and wearing that mask, it was really dark. You couldn't see through the visor really. It was green, so you couldn't see your feet. You had to look straight forward all the time. And walking up these shiny stairs and steps into the spaceship was just so difficult. We fell down those stairs so many times and had to cut the scene and made it do it again and again. So yeah, that was quite challenging, not being able to see properly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And again, like you were saying before with the scene walking through the grass, it's not that long in the film, it's like seconds.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of mistakes can still happen even in just seconds, and people falling over, which is only natural when you're basically blind. You can't see.
That's it, yeah. Well, especially when we were chasing the little girl around at the beginning as well. We were running around, and all the grass that was actually there was planted by the crew, because there's no grass that actually grow there. And so many people fell over, and the fighting scene on the beach, the assault there, dead bodies on the floor, you can't see the feet, people falling over, and I can't wait to see the funny extras they might have shot afterwards. It'll be really funny.
Yeah, definitely, that would be really fun to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your favourite memories from your time working on Rogue One?
Well, all of it really. I can't just take one bit out. For me, it was a whole new experience, something I've never done in my life before. So the whole thing, I met loads of people, made loads of contacts, and the whole thing was just amazing. Everything I saw that the crew did, special effects, the things we did, how it looked like actually in real life while we're shooting it, and the way it came out in a film is just so different. The special effects was just amazing. Yeah.
Definitely, that's really great. And finally, Victor, do you have any upcoming acting roles or other projects that you would like to talk about?
At the moment, I don't have anything in the pipeline, but I'm with the agent, and they looking for roles for me to do, especially with military background, stuff like that. So I'll see what comes up.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be sure to keep an eye out and see what you've got coming up at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all of my questions for you today, Victor. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
No worries. Anytime.
Yeah, great. So I'll look forward to doing it again soon. And thanks again for joining us today. Take care. Bye. Time to wrap up today's show. Make sure to check out our podcast links, Check out our website, website.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP. Check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeekp. Check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/official-everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Email us at the following email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the hosts' YouTube channels. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/separatist-destroyers. Check out Victor Botha's Facebook page, www.facebook.com/VictorBotha82, and check out channel 1138 where we broadcast live from, www.channel1138.com. Geeks out, everyone.
That part was offered to me. That was a direct offer, and at the time they offered me if I wanted to be in Rogue One or the next film, and I was like, oh my god, I'll never get a chance to be in Star Wars.
Having control over your body and movements, and also about strength. Sometimes we actually train with your eyes blindfolded, which can be a bit similar to wearing a creature's outfit, as your vision is often very limited.